First of all, I want to apologize for being late. It seems no matter how much I plan ahead, I'm always running late. And I don't blame anybody for that except myself. So I take full responsibility for that. That's one thing spiritualism has taught me. The other thing is to be very careful how I say anything. Just when you think you've got everything together, they call an election. And we're going to debate whether we need that election or not for the next 25 years. Why is that? Are we interested in politics? A little bit. But all these things are kept to the forefront of our consciousness primarily to confuse us, to take our focus away from what really is important. You've heard me speak of how religion started, how it began. It began in earnest by studying nature and natural law. And in so doing, they were able to communicate with the balance of the universe, which is an unseenable universe. You can't see it. Some people might be able to do that. Those that have advanced enough in their consciousness to do it will do it. But if you pick up any paper, listen to any radio program, or watch any television show, you will find that there are so many things going on in the world that you'd be lucky to concentrate long enough to tie your own shoes in the morning when you get up. Why is that? It's to draw our focus away from who we really are, and what is really happening to us. It's a way of dividing us so we don't focus on our history and we don't focus on discoveries that are made that will improve how we think, what we think, and why we think it. My wife keeps on reminding us, or me anyway, students as well, that everything is being done in divine order. According to God's plan. Well, what is God's plan? I've not met anybody yet who has introduced me to God to tell me that he's got a plan or she's got a plan or they got a plan. But my neighbor from 4,000 years ago has left me enough information for me to draw a conclusion as to what that plan might be. Some would call it history, but history can always be altered to suit the people that are writing it. The making of history is something else entirely different. Our ancestors have left us enough information about the universe and this solar system to help us survive as a species. Well, why would you want to worry about that when you got to worry about whether you're going to have a conservative government or not? No. I'm more worried about whether they're going to raise my taxes and my pension check's going to come in at the end of the month. But I shouldn't be. I should be more focused on what it is that's around me that tells me what's going to happen tomorrow according to God's plan. And I use that in a bit of a derogatory mode right there because, as you can suspect, who you believe you're praying to as gods aren't gods at all. They're people, like you and me. The only difference is they live a little longer, they're a bit taller, a lot smarter. They're our ancestors because it was through their genetic makeup that we came to be. If anybody has ever read anything about Sitchin in his books, he talks about a civilization that existed long ago that was developed through artificial insemination and genetic engineering to produce the human species, Homo sapien. Through genetic engineering. We know what that is today. We didn't know what that was 3,000 years ago. Well, how can these people be doing that to us? Did they arrive here in flying saucers or something? Well, I used to chase flying saucers, and yes, they do exist, but no, that's not the answer. A long, long time ago, Galka looked at the universe as it was in biblical time. And in Genesis, you have what is reported the beginning of the world, story of creation. But if you look at it, you have two stories in the very beginning that deal with the coming of light. And there was light and it was good. And he smiled and all this other stuff that went along with it. I can't paraphrase it because I'm not a Bible student. I don't remember the exact phrasing to it. But I can tell you this, that in Genesis there are two stories of creation. One where God creates the universe and man, and another where the God creates man in his image. Not creates, but forms man in his image. Forms man in his image. My wife keeps on telling me, don't sweat the small stuff because the hard stuff is bad enough. You know? Not very often I listen to her, but occasionally. So, what is it with this second creation? What do you wake up to in the morning when you look out to the east? You see the sun rising in the morning, don't you? All right. These individuals that came here, extraterrestrials if you want to call them that, but I want to call them mom and dad. When they arrived here, they didn't arrive here basically on a long journey in a spacecraft. But if you think of their world, their planet as being a spacecraft like Earth, then yeah, they did arrive here in a spacecraft. But they also arrived bringing along with their planet within our orbit another sun. A binary solar system. Two suns. That's why in Genesis you have the story of two creations of light. How do we know this? Because it's handed down in many, many, many religious scriptures, books that are sacred throughout the world. But as a spiritualist, I have to be a scientist as well. And I also have to be a bit of a theologian, a bit of a historian, a bit of everything. A jack of all trades, master of none. what does that all mean to us? When you go to bed at night, there's a moon in the sky. And ask any scientist and he'll tell you, depending on the position of the moon, along with the tides it controls on the earth, it controls the tides within your body because most of your body is water. So we're influenced by the moon. And if you take up astrology, you're going to be influenced by every planet in its conjunction and its relationship to other planets. And this is how they read your future. But I read my future by studying the past. Because my ancestors have left me enough information to be wary enough to understand that that solar system with a binary suns is nearing completion again. Because the orbital path of that rogue planet is cyclical. It happens every 24 to 26, every 124 to 126,000 years. There's some confusion on that because of the wobble of the Earth, the perigee of the Earth. The wobble of the Earth is how you determine the houses of the zodiac. It's supposed to be 126,000 years. There's some dispute on that now. They say it should be shorter. But our ancestors left us through all the pyramids and all the step pyramids and all the ancient sacred buildings that they built on ley lines to tell us of our history. And it's cyclical. It reoccurs. But why aren't we taught this? There have been several brave people who have written oodles of information to give you that picture that I'm giving you now of how we got here and how things all started. So you could ask me, is there a God? And I say to you, there's an intelligence within all universes that I have no concept of. Because I haven't got the brains or the mentality to give you an answer on that one. Because I would have to know the secrets of all universes and all galaxies. And I don't know that, at least not right yet. But I'm going to. Because if you believe that you live in a holographic universe, as above, so below, should be your mantra. Whatever you think, you create, and that's a proven fact. We've proven it in physics, in quantum physics specifically. So we know that the holographic universe, the smallest part has within it the total sum of its being, of the whole universe. So the matrix God of intelligence that I speak of as being God is a matrix that has within it all of creation. Some people call it the God code. What is it? What is this matrix? Our ancestors were trying to tell us that. Because they reached a point in time when they were developing their consciousness, and because they were developing at such a rate, the gods on that rogue planet that's within our solar system, because it is all part of our solar system, only it's a binary solar system, two suns, that only occur every once in a while. It's cyclical. The thing is that all of these things are given to us as information for us to have in front of us so we can prepare ourselves for this introduction of a binary sun system. So the influences of the planets do have cause and effect on us. So when the solar system is changing from a single to a binary solar system, two suns and a larger rogue planet part of it, and it's happened before, and it will happen again, and that's why all these buildings were built and information left on stone and anything else that could convey the information to future generations. These were the things that were our legacy by our ancestors, so we could prepare ourselves for the influences of all the different planets within our solar system and the universe totaled that we're going to experience. So we to be afraid of this? No. It's happened before. It was called the Golden Age. People lived to be 600 years old. Why? The influences of planets. A binary solar system, you change the radiation in it, everything changes. Have we gone through these changes before? Yes, we have. Again, messages from our ancestors. So yes, when we were born, we weren't given a manual on how to treat the body, but we're learning how to do that. We haven't quite learned how to stay together without killing one another yet, but we're trying to do that too as well. But then we have all these outside influences that are compounding the problems we're having, and we don't understand the problems we're having because we're not looking at our past to see our future and our present. So are you to be afraid of what's going to happen? No. Will there be earth turmoils? Yes. You've seen it. 10,000 people died in Japan. And the man-made disaster is going to even be worse, because they've got 5 nuclear generating stations that are about to blow up. When the radiation in the water that these people have walked through is 10,000 times greater than the accepted amount, we have a problem over there. And it's not just a Japanese problem, it's a world problem. So welcome to the nuclear age. But what about the nuclear consciousness? I'm going to leave you with these simple words. Divine order. Shakespeare said it best, and I'll paraphrase what he said. The world is a stage, and all upon it are actors. We didn't write the script, but we had parcel of writing our own script. But the script for the universe was written by another intelligence greater than us, of which we are part of. Not the physical sense, but the consciousness stages of evolution. So this is our trip. Physical, spiritual, and mental. So what I'm trying to tell you is changes are coming. You won't notice some of them you won't even understand. But everything in divine order. You can't change it. It's an experience. You came here for the experience. Life is experiential. Doesn't matter what age you live in. Doesn't matter whether you live to be 600 years old or 60. Life is experiential. And that's the whole journey. To deal with one another on an intelligent, compassionate level. That's our goal. To love one another, to be loved. When you go home, love your wife, love your husband, even if you hate them. Love your kids. And be prepared for changes, because that's what worlds are all about. That's what universes are all about. That's what galaxies are all about, change. So welcome to the changing. Thank you very much.